other equipment, and in particular, navigational instruments on board. This is about emission. You disturb others. The other point we consider is about how about this equipment? How well is insulated? How well it is immune to external signals that is coming in, like electrical signal or electromagnetic signals, interference signals. So we are talking about being disturbed. The reference we take are IEC 61000 Part 6-3 and also -1. We also consider IEC 61851 Part 2 requirements. The last is IEC 60533. Should you find these 4 documents I have said not adequate for your design, for your equipment, do share that with us. Yeah. Because that must be also considered. But it's important I tell you what we have considered, because in your design, you will have to expect for compliance on that. Did not escape our attention as well. Because you can see, especially there's a lot of interfaces, and in marine application, we classify environmental condition or as outdoor use. We consider them as outdoor use, including the possibility of water immersion by wave. With this, I will stop here and hand over to Bingrong to talk about the battery swap.
Now, is there any views after listening to all the different feedback and different presentations on how this standard can evolve further to facilitate further innovation and implementation of EHCs in Singapore? Any views on this? How would are there new technologies or new things that we need to now consider just after listening to our discussion and presentations?
Well, I feel one way that we're talking about is about safety. The sensors and so forth, already we have to insist in certain critical areas, like the charging areas and so forth. And it is how now you want to make it Internet of Things, that you start to make it more communicative. Otherwise, the usual way would be putting alarms, and then you'll be alerted. But now with Internet of Things, of course, that is better. And there will be also condition to know, and you can then put it together. Because for charging systems, for all these vessels and so on, and including the facilities, bear in mind they are very interdependent. So they have to be developed at times also in sync with what is your expectation from the operator point of the vessel. And so that will shape the part of facility to provide. So again, I say that you may have to think that you have to go upwards for higher voltage. That is one. When you go up on that, safety of the people, you have to drive for autonomous. Or we talk about qualified person, but at the same time, we talk about asking about if you have to go out somewhere, you have a platform. Would you be able to get somebody to sign up for the job? Think about it. The cybersecurity threat is definitely something will come when you have Internet of Things, when you open up to be interconnected. And then we have, you heard this morning from Andrew, there are these horizontal, across the board work. So we may have to have certain special requirements, because what you build on shore is one, what is the ship coming, the craft coming is another. They could be different countries, different standards, following different classifications. And we have to see how we can help to unify the requirement. That is also very important, because even today you talk about they are operating at different frequency and different voltages. We have seen also some phenomena that will happen, and the electric vessels that now on the bar and so on, they are putting protection devices like galvanic installation devices for galvanic corrosion. And that is also, I mentioned about insulation. So there will be challenges for materials. Okay, there will be challenges for materials that you may need to be able to take conditions and measure. What is the degradation? Because you are no longer talking about what you have on land, our climatic condition. You are talking all outdoor and exposure. All right, exposure to all the kind of harsh environment. This is something for the material to think about. You have to integrate, maybe you have to take renewable energy. So photovoltaic development is there. How we want to take advantage of it. Onshore, easy. They are the rooftop and so forth. Open space. Out there, a different challenge. So that's my take about it.
This will be this is essentially a working document, right? With time, and it has to evolve with time, right? From having nothing, at least we set some baseline in terms of what are the base considerations, and we are all very clear that ultimately, with time involved and with how the industries putting in new innovations and ideas itself, that this TR, if we stretch it back to another 10 years from now, could be drastically different from what it is today. But we have to start somewhere. I think that's why we started with what we have. Taking in, being none the wiser, we take in all the inputs from everyone. I think that's why this is not a, this is actually everyone's contribution to document something that becomes something workable for everybody. And of course, with that itself, now that it has been launched, and it will be implemented, and with time, there will definitely be issues that will come up, right? Whatever we could foresee, some of the things that we thought that there could be potential issues, we try to sort of address them here. There will definitely be others that we didn't foresee with newer technologies and things. You never know, one day somebody started beaming microwave electricity to craft, how to then charge for a microwave, for example. The important aspects then is keeping that TR, providing certain base. I think we make sure that certain things we definitely need to safeguard, especially in terms of safety, in terms of electrical safety. And that's what some of these things we put in, but also being mindful, we don't want to go it super onerous that it sort of kills this. So that's why there is a very careful consideration to really come out to where we are, but also keeping a lot of things open, being very aware that things will have to change. They will change and they will have to change. So
that's the document. But now when we started, we see TR 25 taken how many years to reach battery store. But here, on the beginning, we recognize it's different. You won't need battery swap. So our framework included battery swap. So it's learning. So with this learning, I just thinking, now that we have our TR 136, how can we also try to influence other parts of the world that we have a good taste and borrowing the platform of like IEC standards, hopefully they can adopt it. And then we can gain more experience because there will be national deviations and so on. And let's learn also. It's also good for our industry. So we count also on the audience here, come forward, especially the very young one. I'm young, but you are younger.